Hey guys, one clue here. This is a Bitaxe and I have an issue with it. You see, I do have a power supply, I have another power supply and another power supply. And there are a ton of cables with it. So the issue I have is I have multiple of those Bitaxe devices. And when I want to run all of them, I face an issue of having just a cable mess. So let's get rid of this and let's get started. By having a basic idea of what you need, I found out that I can purchase a power supply that puts out a voltage of 5 volts that I can use with a cable to solder up something that I want to use in this specific case with my Bitaxes. So today I want to guide you through how you could run multiple Bitaxe devices with just one power supply. Of course, this is a little bit bigger, but it will be able to run even more than those 3 that you have seen currently. It will be able to power up to 7 Bitaxe devices with just 1 or 2 cables instead of having just a cable mess that you have seen previously. So what exactly is this? You see that I have here a couple of so-called terminals down there. We do have the input for our live phase, our neutral phase, and the ground phase here to the left. This is for the AC connection. Inside of this device, unfortunately, I'm not willing to open up this for the sake of just showing it, but there is a small switch in here. It also states this on this sticker that you actually can flip this switch around and then change between 110 volts or 220 volts. Like for the people in the US or in countries where you don't use 220 volts, like I use here in my country. And on the right hand side, we do have 4 more terminals. We do have 2 positive terminals and we have 2 negative terminals. And I just screwed it open and put in my cable. And the white cable that you see is connected to a plug that I can plug into my home outlet just in the wall. So that's pretty simple. What I want to achieve today with you is to take this open line that we do have here and I want to solder in or solder on those connectors. Instead of having this barrel plug here, I will cut this up and then we will solder them to this cable. I probably could also use some sort of a bus bar or anything else to make this a little bit more better or a little bit more professional, I'd say. But I don't think that this is needed for my setup. But yeah, let's get into the soldering process and what we actually need for this. So I do have a solder iron with me. I do have a lot of solder wire also with me. And I do have a third hand just to hold up those cables. And then I think we can get started. So the first thing that we obviously need to do is get rid of these connector wires that we currently have. And then we need to strip them down a little bit. Let me get another tool. So we can simply just destroy those cables, so that we do have our positive and our negative ends. And those ends, I typically keep them on this because it's really easy to just plug it onto the Bitaxe instead of soldering directly onto the Bitaxe. Obviously, you would be able to solder directly onto this. As you can see, you do have 2 terminal connections here that you can simply just solder a cable to this. But I like to leave it as it is for the current moment. And I do take the other cable as well from another Bitaxe and strip this also apart. So let's get rid of those connectors and let's see what we can do. So the first thing that we obviously need to do is to remove the shielding from this cable. So therefore I simply just try to a little bit destroy the shielding of this cable, and there you go. I now have an open end on this negative one. We do the same for the positive one. Now we need to do the same with the shorter cables that we do have here. Obviously, what you also could do is having a power supply with plenty of connections. The power supply that I'm using in this one will be linked in the video description down below on Amazon. I will also link you a power supply on AliExpress if you prefer to order a little bit of a cheaper one. There's no really recommendation from me. The only thing that you should be aware of is take a look if you see good reviews for this power supply, and make sure that you do order one that is obviously 5 volts rated. Otherwise this wouldn't be powering the device. So the next thing that I'd like to do is grab a couple of safety rubber bands, or what's it called? I don't know the appropriate language for this in English. So basically, if I apply heat to this, this will shrink down. I believe that's some sort of a shrink wire stuff. Yeah, just cut it in 2 pieces just to get this over here, and one over here as well. Those are the negative ones currently. Let's get another one for the positive ones. Let's make sure that they do fit over the other connectors. They do, so that's good. I probably need to open this here a little bit more. But yeah, let's put this over the positive wire number 1 and the second wire as well. So everything I'm doing currently is just the preparation for the soldering part that we need to do, because as soon as I apply heat to those shrinking thingies, they will shrink, and obviously you cannot change anything afterwards. So be aware of this. So let me quickly open this a little bit more, and then we can go ahead and put this on there. So what I will do is I will take the blue wire here and solder the positive wires to this, and on the brown wire I will solder the black wires, so the negative ones, onto this. This should give me enough of an identification which wire belongs to what terminal on the power supply. So I just removed a little bit more of my wires, and I cut off the previously soldered ones, because now I want to approach this a little bit different. So I have soldered these cables already together, but what I want to do is, instead of also soldering onto this cable and then soldering them together, is I want to connect them and then solder onto them. I already soldered onto these ones, probably not the most professional way, but nevertheless it should function. So what I'm doing is I'm just let me see, I splintered the cable out a little bit here, as you can see, and I will put it in there, and I will try to go around there and combine those cables together. Probably not working as intended. As I said, probably the better way would be, and I will do this for the negative end, to splinter this one as well, and then put them together, try to get them together, and then solder onto this. But for the positive end, I already made the mistake, so therefore I just will keep doing this. So we have them connected together. My soldering iron is hot and ready, so let's get a little bit of soldering. So let's give this a couple of seconds, and let's prepare the negative wires. So as you can see, I already splintered up this wire a little bit. Let's do the same with the other wire. And then what we can do is take those 2 wires here, put them nearly together. Let's get this one, and let's try to get them together, and also make sure that you do have a big enough heat shrink on this, because I see I missed this part. I left the smaller ones on this one, so that's a no-no. Be mindful that you do choose a bigger one. I will just quickly grab a way too big one and put it over there. So there we go. It does not look really pretty, and I am aware of this, but what I want to achieve is to solder them together. It's really ugly, but it is just a basic idea of how you can do this. The most easiest way would probably be just to stick them in those clamps. Try to show one here so you don't need to solder at all, but for the sake of this video I wanted to solder a little bit, and that's the reason why I'm doing this. And then all you need to do is grab your lighter, and as you can see, this will shrink obviously, and it will protect your soldering connection hopefully as good as possible. So let's see if we can shrink it down a little bit. It's a little bit too big, but it should save the solid point. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's try to put this together, and let's see if this functions or not. So what I'm doing now is connecting the wire to the terminal ports. We do have V negative and V positive. So let's screw this up a little bit, and let's take the other end that we have prepared. And as I said, the positive one will be the blue one and the negative one will be the brown one. So we will stick in the positive one and the negative one. So let's stick in the positive one first, and let's screw this into position. Now let's get the negative one. Let's open up this a little bit better, and let's get this one in. I already had this screwed in there, so that's why it is a little bit messy here. Probably you should also make sure to reduce a little bit more of this protective layer on here, so that you do have a way better cable length, and you don't need to wiggle around like I did here. So but this connection seems to be safe, or at least secured. I'm not sure if this is really safe, but yeah. So we do have this junky little wire hanging here around, and let's see. So what we want to do is put in the positive of this one first, and then let's put in the negative one here, and let's get another Bitaxe. Let's put in the positive first, and let's get the negative as the second. So let's see if this one blows up or not. I hope it doesn't, but obviously we don't know. Yeah, everything should be sorted correctly. So let's see if this one functions or if we made any mistakes here. So 1 second, let me plug this in. And we do see both of them light up. Do see currently at the wall 37 watts for 2 of them. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Everything should be good. Let's grab a multimeter quick, just for the sake of showing you what is currently going on here. So I do put this on voltage of DC, and let's put in negative first and then positive second. We do see 5 volts, so that's perfect. That's perfect. It is running. The second thing I need to check is obviously on the screen on the web UI if the input voltage is also been read correct. But yeah, so that's basically how you can do this. I could also try to put in another wire. I could do this in different variations, but that's just the one variation that I came up in my mind that I wanted to show you guys. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next one.